Hey, good morning. We're on time. It's because it's a holiday. It is Topps release day. It is a holiday in this house. Well, at least for one member of the family. And that is me. Happy Topps release day. Trying to run a report here. That's why I was. All right. I can't think about two things at the same time. So hey, happy Wednesday, happy Topps Day. We're going to talk about Topps Series 1, of course. In a lot of the Topps Series 1 will be in my eBay store. Check it out, 99centcards.com. Buy 7 or more items at regular price. You'll save 25% off at checkout, 99centcards.com. I did not get any auctions up last night. I'm playing catch up after Sunday card show. A lot of shipping yesterday. Ernie had like the worst day ever. And so I was doing some Ernie errands and getting prepared for today with my case of Series 1. So I did not list any auctions last night. So we will take a 3-week break from eBay Auctions Live, but hope to resume that at some point and hopefully in the near future actually be on the platform for eBay Live. So still looking to hear more information on that. So Ernie had kind of a rough day yesterday. So my wife and I kind of like a kid, like we discuss, okay, I'll pick him up, you drop him off. If he's got a vet appointment or whatever, He had a grooming appointment yesterday. So yesterday's schedule, my wife was going to drop Ernie off at doggy daycare. And then, so she was going to drop him off at like 9. And then at 11:45, you can't drop them off or pick them up between noon and 2. It's like lunch hour and it's nap time for the puppies. And Ernie had a grooming appointment at noon. So it's like, okay, so I'll go pick him up from doggy daycare at 11:45. And then I'll take him to his grooming appointment. And then depending on my wife's appointments, and I mean, I'm pretty flexible, we'll go pick him up from the grooming appointment. It usually takes 3 hours. They tell us 2 to 3 hours. That's like the window of time, 2 to 3 hours, and we'll call you. So at like 9:45, so Ernie gets dropped off at doggy daycare at 9 o'clock yesterday morning. Of course, it's Tuesday, so he's cooped up Saturday, Sunday. He gets to play on Monday, and it's time to go back and play. But that wasn't the case. My wife gets a call 9:45. They're understaffed, and they don't have anybody to watch the toy box, which is the room for the small dogs that Ernie's a part of. So we can keep him in the kennel or come pick him up. So we're not going to let him sit in a kennel. Like, he can just wander the house and be at home and do a little playtime and better than being in a kennel at doggy daycare. We take him there to play. Like if we don't take him to put him in a kennel. Like, the alternative, if that's what we took, we would just keep him at home. So I went and picked him up and brought him home and took him to his grooming appointment and dropped him off at noon. And it's like, 2 to 3 hours and we'll give you a call. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm working. And my wife is the contact, so they just reach out to her. So I just assumed, they're going to reach out to her, and my wife is probably going to go pick him up. It's, what time was it? 4 o'clock. So now it's getting a little long because it's 2 to 3 hours. It's 4 o'clock, and my wife texts me, and she says, "Did the groomer call you?" And I said, "No, I assumed they were calling you." And she's like, "No, I haven't heard anything." So she calls the groomer. And they're running behind. It'll be between 4:30 and 5. I'm like, Jesus, that's pretty excessive. And if it's going to take that long, if they knew about it, which come to find, I think they did, like at least tell us like, hey, we're running behind. It's going to be a little longer today. Or like, hey, we're running behind. I'm not going to get to him until, can you bring him back at 2? So he's not probably sitting in a kennel at the groomer. So, so 4:30 to 5 o'clock. So it's 4:45 and it's just like 5 minutes down the road. So I'm like, it's 4:45. I'm going to go. I haven't heard anything. I'm going to go see what the deal is, and go pick him up. So I walk in and there's an older gentleman who actually dropped his dog off at the same time I dropped Ernie off at noon yesterday. So the same lady that I checked in with at noon, and usually there's like 3 or 4 people on duty. So I think they were also short-staffed. So I said, I'm here to pick up Ernie. And she's like, he's not going to be ready. I've still got to finish something. It'll be like 5:15. And I'm like, okay. Now it's only 5 minutes. So I just run back home, get some more shipping done. In a scenario like this is what I call trucker time. And if you are familiar with the transportation industry, trucker time is kind of like, yeah, I'll be up after this beer, and 1 beer turns into 6. That's growing up. When I was a kid, I grew up in the tavern. No, my parents didn't own the tavern. They just liked to hang out at the tavern. Yeah, 1 more beer. And I knew 1 more beer was like 3 hours. It's kind of like in football. 2 minutes is like 35 minutes. Trucker time, you call up a trucker. Hey, Walmart's looking for their delivery. Where are you at? Yeah, I'm about 15 minutes out. And 15 minutes is about an hour. So I'm assuming this lady's on trucker time. And I don't think 5:15 is 5:15. So I'm like, I'll wait. I'll leave the house at 5:20. That'll get me there at 5:25, maybe a little traffic, maybe 5:30. So still haven't heard anything. So I get there like 5:25, and I pull up right out front. And as soon as I pull up, I see she's grooming Ernie. Like as I pull up at 5:30, she was on trucker time. So I'm not going to walk inside because Ernie will see me and go ape shit, and she won't be able to finish the job, or it will take her even longer than what it's already taking. So now we're at the 5.5 hour point, and we're told 2 to 3 hours, and then we're told 4:30, and then we're told 5:15, and here it is 5:30. So I sat in my car for 15 minutes. At 5:40, she finally takes him off the table. So I go in. And I didn't even ask. I assumed, because usually there's like 3 or 4 other groomers, and she was the only person I saw all 3 times I was there. I wasn't mad. I just, thank you. I still left a tip. But I just assumed, and it probably said, I'm sure people called in sick, just like what happened at doggy daycare. When I went to pick him up, when I went to pick Ernie up at doggy daycare, and I know, like, I guess they sent out an email like a week or 2 ago. There's like a change in management at Dogtopia, and kind of a weird email. And but that's par for the course with this place. So when I went to pick up, they're nice people though. They apologized and said we had a couple people call in sick this morning with COVID, and we just didn't have enough time to get people in. And I said, okay, well, COVID, it's not like they're coming back to work tomorrow. So like, is it going to be okay? Are you going to be fully staffed tomorrow just so we can plan on keeping him home or bringing him in? They're like, oh no, we're good. We're fully covered for tomorrow. We just didn't have enough time to get that coverage on short notice. I'm like, okay, I completely understand. Ernie will definitely be back tomorrow. And he's so handsome. He smells nice. He doesn't smell like feces and urine anymore from weeks of doggy daycare. So Ernie is well. Max says, how long did you wait for the groomer? Fuck, I don't know. Well, so here's the thing. So they tell us 2 to 3 hours. And so At the 4-hour point, my wife called and they said 4:30 to 5. So I went there at 4:45, and we're supposed to wait for a phone call, so I ignored that. So I mean, it's basically both me waiting twice is my own fault because I didn't wait for a phone call. I just assumed, and you know what assuming does. So the only thing I wish that they would have said, "Hey, we are short-staffed." Max missed the first part of this. So our groomer typically they say 2 to 3 hours, but that's fully staffed. I'm assuming there was only one lady the entire 3 times I was in there. So it's usually 2 to 3 hours. At the 4-hour point, my wife says, "Hey, have you heard from them?" I said, "No." She called. They said, "We're running behind. It'll be 4:30 to 5 o'clock. I went back at 4:45. She said he's not going to be ready until about 5:15. I'll call. And so I went back at 5:25 without a call, my own fault. And he was done at 5:40. So, I mean, I waited a while. It was a pain, but it was brought on by myself because you're supposed to wait for the phone call. It even says like on the front door, wait for our phone call. But they also say 2 to 3 hours. So I'm partially to blame, but I wish a little communication up front, like, "Hey, I'm the only person here today. It might take a little longer." So I was cool with it. That was cool. Max says, "Keep in mind, it's not your fault. They are short-staffed. It's theirs. Grab the dog and go elsewhere. No pay, no tip. I'm out." But I'm okay. Like, it's winter. Illness is going around. Like, I understand how it goes. It's a minor annoyance. I feel worse for Ernie having, for me, like disrupting my day. Like it didn't really, I mean, it did in a little bit, but I don't care. I'm pretty easygoing. But I feel for Ernie, stuck at the dog groomer for most of the day. So hopefully he gets to have good play time today and they're fully covered at doggy daycare. So yeah, so they were short-staffed at doggy daycare. They were short-staffed at the groomer. But I know there's a bunch of shit going around, COVID, flu, garbage. So I'm just going to hang out in my basement and play with baseball cards. Hey, speaking of hanging out in my basement, playing with baseball cards, I was planning on going to a card show this week. There's a small card show in Columbus, Wisconsin, which is just outside of Madison. It's kind of like a fundraiser for the community. They're not charging for tables, not charging for admission, but they're making and you're like, well, how is this a fundraiser? They should have charged for tables. Like you could have made decent more money charging for tables, more funds coming in. But they're making their money with like the concessions and the food. So, but a show like that, that's a great buying opportunity because you may not have free tables. It's kind of a free for all. It's almost like a flea market, and you can get some good deals at those types of small shows. So, I've been kind of planning on going to the show. It's this Saturday, Columbus, Wisconsin, but today is Tops Day. I just bought a bunch of stuff on Sunday. I've still got stuff from the Goodwill pallet to list. I'm kind of inundated with stuff. It's going to be a game time decision. I told East Coast Tom on Sunday, it's like I'm always a game time decision when it comes to shows that I'm not committed to. It is fun for me, because I went before this past weekend, the previous Janesville show, I think it was in December. I went just to walk the show floor, and I had a lot of fun. And I want to do that. Not like every weekend, but at least once a month. I guess even that's kind of stretching it. But I'd like to go to more card shows as just a buyer, just to go walk the floor. Not that when I'm set up at shows, I'm not buying, but it's just, I don't have to, I can actually stand at a bargain box for 2 hours and not worry about my table. Some people think, well, you don't worry about your table anyway. Partially true. So game time decision. We're going to see how this week goes. I'm just drowning in shipping still. And even more so the next few days. So we'll see. Today's only Wednesday though. So I'm hoping my case of Tops gets here at a decent time today. And I'll talk about that. I want to get to the chat. We'll talk about it. My case, according to FedEx, is I haven't received an update since 5/27. I think usually around this time, 7-8 o'clock, it'll say it's on a delivery truck. Right now it says on the way at destination sort facility, and that was at 5:27 a.m. My delivery estimation is today between 10:40 a.m. and 2:40 p.m. And usually it's like smack dab in the middle of that. They're pretty accurate. It's usually right around noon. Let's go see who's in the chat. We are early today. Maybe it's just the excitement. It's like Christmas. It's day one of the new baseball card season. It is Christmas Day for Topps collectors. Series 1 releases today. It'll be on my doorstep in a few hours. Porter says, not that anyone's tracking their FedEx drivers' every footstep like we are. Red light early today. Yeah, this used to be on time. It's early now. It used to be on time. But here we are. Good morning. Gooder says, someone woke up earlier today. I did. And guess who else did? Ernie. Ernie woke up I think it was, I don't even know what time it was. I think it might have been like 3 a.m. today. My wife took him out this morning, and he had the zoomies again. And I can understand, like, him getting the zoomies in the middle of the night after yesterday, I can understand because he had zero play time with the exception of, us playing with him. But that's, us playing with him for like half hour, 45 minutes is a lot different than him playing with other puppies for like 8 hours. So little different. JW, good morning. Good thing it's not a federal holiday or I wouldn't be expecting some in the mail today. Yeah, it's a federal holiday for me, national holiday for me. Kevin, good morning. Happy Topps Day. Mine is on track to arrive tomorrow. Oh, that's got to be killing you because it would kill me. Like seeing, like, there hasn't been much, like there's been some released here and there. I've seen some YouTube videos, but there hasn't been like, it's not like previous releases where they're all over the place on like Saturday and Monday. Fanatics has done a pretty good job of reining that in. So there's not a lot of early ripping going on. Let's see. JW says, LOL, right? Tracking the FedEx man. Kyle says, good morning. Listed some 2021 Bowman baseball lots. Immediately sold some, plus selling cards that were listed a year ago. Spring training equals sales. Absolutely. You'll start seeing sales from, players, perfect example. I went out, when at Sunday's card show, I'm digging through a bargain box. I paid $2 for a Heritage Chrome refractor of Ryan Brazier because there's not too many Ryan Brazier cards out there, and I want to get it autographed at spring training. So it's like, I'll pay $2 for this. And I see it similar, I shipped out, I had somebody like, hey, and I do appreciate, and I mentioned this last week around the time they made the order. If you're going to make a substantial order for spring training or a minor league baseball game later in the year for autographs, don't buy something and like the next day say, hey, how come this hasn't shipped yet? I need this by Tuesday. It's like, do that beforehand because my listings say ships within 3 business days. And this guy, and he did, and he said, hey, is there any chance you can ship these like soon? Because I'm going to, and I'm like, yeah. And it was like a 20-some card order. So I'm going to do it. If you want 1 or 2 cards at $1.50 or 99 cents, back of the line, you're going to go in order. It's going to go in order. But a bigger order, I will give a little leeway and that. And I see, I'm pulling a lot of cards. It's like, wow, this card's been listed forever. But kind of like in the case of Ryan Brazier, just a random reliever gets signed by your team that you're going to go get an autograph for. Nicky Lopez is another guy for the Cubs. Phil Bickford. And I thought Phil Bickford had more I guess because I opened a lot of 2015 Bowman draft, Phil Bickford was in that set. So I just assumed, well, he was in 2015 Bowman draft. He's been in every other product since then. No, that was like the only product he was in. I think he was in like Elite Extra Edition. And of course, Phil Bickford, 2015 Bowman draft, not too many of those in my quarter boxes anymore. They've been purged. David, good morning. Porter's in the house. What's happening? Orlando is here. Good morning. Let's see. Philly Joe's in the house. Good morning. Herman is here. What's happening? Cooter says, can you tell the groomer story again? Not sure I got it the first 3 times. Shut up, Cooter. Herman says, time to get those team sets. There you go. Red Light 34 says, what happened to your shipping helper? That's on me. I just haven't, I never went through with, my buddy's kid. He's pretty busy and I'm really disorganized. I do have, my buddy 608, said, hey, I'll help out. So, I'm probably going to take Cody. I'm going to take you up on that offer eventually. My shipping room is just an absolute disaster, and I don't want to bring somebody in with my workspace in the condition it is. So, and I keep buying stuff, and then I keep listing stuff, and then I keep shipping stuff. And so that's like this, there's not enough hours in the day to get my spaces organized. And that's a me problem, because I'm choosing to do that and I'm choosing to ignore the organization aspect. So I need to get my ass in gear on that. Gem City Card Show says, how many cases? Just one jumbo case. I ordered one jumbo case, which is perfectly enough for me. And here's the reason. Here's my take on ordering multiple cases, because I've done this in the past. It is the law of diminishing returns. Because what I see is I do one case and I do really well and I'll make good profit on one case. I do a second case and, you're making your money on the base. When you're opening cases, it's the volume that you're making your money on. The top series one, somebody comes in and buys the team set in singles, or some people list the team sets. I just do singles. That's the most efficient way for my business. So, and people will come in, buy all the Cardinals cards. Or maybe they're building this insert set. So that's, I'm getting that, but I'm, all of a sudden you get 2 cases, 3 cases, 4 cases. I don't have. Now I could do that. And, maybe this time I'm not, I don't get the clientele, and over time you will. I'm not saying every time you will fall short, but if you're going to do a one-off here and there, which is what I do, it's just not feasible to do multiple cases. I'm a one-man band, so it also takes a long time to sort and all that. So one case is enough for me. I'm not there was that, the one guy, the husband and wife team, they did like 100K, like back in the day, pre-Fanatics, they were doing like 100 cases of Top Series 1 and, doing team sets and all that. And he had it was a husband and a wife, and I think they had kids that also helped as well. So they had multiple people doing it, but over time, they built up a big clientele. And so they could handle, multiple cases. And I don't want to do that. This to me it's series 1. Like I've got to open series 1. I'm not a ripper and flipper of new product. That's just not my business model. But for certain things, Allen and Ginter took a loss on that. But for me, it was entertaining. Like it was fun, even though I wanted to make money on it. I didn't. I also know that was the case. Top Series 1, I will make money on this. There's not been There's not been a year where I did not make money on my cases or boxes of Top Series 1. Bob Lancaster, what's up? Good morning. Poppin' Bobbles. I love the logo. What subset in Series 1 are you looking forward to the most? Great question. And right now I don't have an answer, but we're going to dive into this together. Top Series 1 checklist. I've got the 1990, the anniversary of the 1990 is very nostalgic for me. That was like 1990 was and to an extent 89. 89 was my first like year really as a collector, but 1990 I was like collecting everything. I was building sets, 90 tops, 90 Fleer. So 1990 that design has a lot of nostalgia for me. I don't collect, obviously I'll collect all the Cubs, but I'm not a set builder. I'm not a subset or insert collector. But what am I looking forward to? Let's see, inserts. So you got the 1990 tops. So it'll be cool to see some of these players on that design. And it's always cool to see like a Roberto Clemente and a Ted Williams and a George Brett. Even though George Brett had a 90 tops card, it's kind of fun to see a different photo on that. So there's 100 cards in that checklist. And then of course you've got the Chrome. You've got the all tops team. I don't know what that looks like. First pitch. I'm a huge fan of the first pitch. So you've got Jason Kelce of the Phillies, Masadori Murakami for the Giants, Juju Watkins, Dodgers, Coach Al of the Yankees, Jason Tatum of first pitch for the Cardinals, which is weird since he's a Boston Celtic, Carl Radke, Chipper Jones, Adrian Beltre. We've got a Cub, Lauren Elena is the Cubs' first pitch, and CJ Stroud for the Astros. So that's probably my favorite insert. I'm glad they brought that back. You've got greatest hits, all aces. I know all aces is pretty popular. I'm not a fan. I think they're cool, but I'm not. Call to the Hall, so Hall of Famers. Companion cards. So you got Ohtani and Trout. Those are in the super box. Oh, those are the super box. Enamel pins, those are in the super box. Heavy lumber. Home field advantage, those are cool. You got Cody Bellinger for the Cubs, who's no longer a Cub. You got legendary home field advantage. So I think the insert I'm most looking forward to is the first pitch. I'm a huge fan of the first pitch cards. Max says, I'm a Topps collector, but today has always been a non-starter for me. I'll wait until the good stuff comes out. Still can't say if I've ever opened a single pack of flagship. That's interesting. And I used to have a similar sentiment where it's like, Top Series 1 doesn't do it for me. Now, and here's the thing. I get so excited over Series 1. I don't know if I've ever bought Series 2. I've never bought hobby of Series 2. Maybe a couple blasters, but I couldn't tell you when the last time it was. Update is hit or miss. Sometimes I buy update, sometimes I don't. But with Series 1, I used to be the same way. And then I would see it in the store and I'd buy it. And I'm like, oh, I got to have more. But here over the last, probably since like 2021, I really got into opening Series 1 on the first day. But pre-COVID, it was for me, as well as you, it was a non-starter for me until fairly recently. And then here the last few years, it's a holiday. And it really helps my eBay store. Like it really, like all of the action my eBay store gets, the traffic that it drives in, the sales that it brings in, trickles down to other items in my store. And it really helps out, my business from an overall standpoint. Porter is looking forward to the real one autos. I don't get excited over the autos because in the jumbo boxes, you get one auto per box. So, I think there's 6 boxes in a case. So I'm getting 6 autos. So, and they're usually going to be rookie autos of some relief pitcher that may not play again in Major League Baseball. So I don't get too excited about the autos in flagship just because of the long odds on anything decent. Bob is looking for the same. He's like looking for the real one autos. Luis Alberto, what's up? I hope to buy 1 or 2 hobby boxes. Love it. Love it. Series 1 day. Porter says, I collected 1990 Topps as an 8-year-old. I actually enjoy the 35-year anniversary throwback this year. I do too. I'll enjoy it next year as well, because 1991 was 1991 for me was probably peak collector bow. 88 was my first pack, my first packs, and just like throwing them around and just, being a dumb 6-year-old. 89 was like, okay, these are like, I collect these and I want to buy these with my allowance money. And then by 1990, now I'm like hardcore, like I'm building sets. And then 1991, I take it next level up. I'm building sets and I'm chasing the big hits. Who wasn't, I don't know who 1991, who were the big chases in 91, but 91, probably in football, like, the Darryl Green fastest card in Upper Deck, the Rocket Ishmael in Pro Set, the Heisman Heroes in that Pro Set. I was more football in 91 than I was in baseball. I remember the Topps, and Topps 91 was a great design. So I'm looking forward to next year's 35-year anniversary. But then the rest of the 90s just don't do it for me because I wasn't collecting baseball really. 92, I was football and basketball. Like baseball was far in the distance by 92. 93, 94, I was hardcore basketball. 95, wasn't even collecting cards anymore. I was off buying wrestling magazines and watching the WWF. And then I came back to baseball card collecting in 1998. And then it was, kind of hit or miss. So really the nostalgia for me for baseball ends in 1991. So I'll look forward to next year. Now, it'll still be cool, but there won't be nostalgia for me after next year. Gem City Card Show says, so 2025 product comes out today, and is all 2024 product done and released now? Probably not. I'm sure there's more 2024 releases that are, set to be released still. Nothing that I'll buy. If there is, and I'm not sure, I don't follow new product with the exception of some of the mainstream releases. If there are any 2024 baseball products yet to be released, I think they're the one-off stuff, the higher end product. Nothing that I'll buy. So I don't care. John is shoveling snow. Fun. We're going to be getting some snow later today. So hopefully, although we have not seen any snow just yet, but it should probably be, actually, it's starting to snow now. We're starting to see our first of the snow. We're supposed to get, I think, 4 to 6 inches here locally. So I'll have to do a little shoveling later today. Merle says, hearing the story about Ernie's day made me think I was caught in a Groundhog Day wormhole. Yeah, poor Ernie. Had a rough day. Rough. Red Light 34 says, who's going to be the hot rookie in this year's Topps? So right now, Dylan Cruz, James Wood would be your top 2 rookies. And that's not a big chase. So there's not a rookie card in this year's product. Like last year we had, who did we have last year? Paul Skeens, was he in Series 1? I don't know who the chase was in Series 1. Ellie De La Cruz? Or was he 2 years ago? I can't remember. The years start blending together. So James Wood and Dylan Cruz, those are the top rookies. There's some other like B, those would be the A team. And then there's some B team. I was actually looking at some sold 2025 top sold listings yesterday just to kind of get a feel for pricing. So excited. Red Light says you can keep the snow. Yeah, keep it out there. Orlando says, I like that Topps has no-name cards like the 90 Frank Thomas. I do like that. A little callback to the 90 no-name Frank Thomas. That is pretty cool. Brent and Becca. Yes, thank you, Max. Brent and Becca was they were ripping like 100 cases of product. Merle says, why don't you get your shipping guy to help you open more cases? I don't have a shipping guy. That's why. Cooter says, do you get much pull-through of older inventory with Series 1 orders? I do. I see a significant uptick in sales from other products. Now, a big boost in Series 1. Other releases like Ginter, I did see get with old Ginter. I got a lot of complimentary orders on Ginter with previous Ginter. Topps Big League, as you could expect, was not, didn't see much additional orders out of Big League. Maybe a little bit with Heritage, but certainly none of those with the extent of Top Series 1. I get a ton of, and a lot of it has to do with the volume discount. Like, okay, I want these 5 cards. Oh, if I buy 2 more, I'll get 25% off. And I see a lot of that. Art Green, Tatum is from St. Louis. Well, that makes sense then. Jason Tatum being from St. Louis, that's why he's throwing out the first pitch of the Cardinals game. L1C says, do you have an all-time favorite Topps base set? For me, it's 1987. Love the wood border. I still love the 87 style inserts as well. I do not like the 87 inserts because, if you would have asked me 5 years ago, I would have said 1987. Now I'm so tired of the design. The thing with me with design, I almost favor designs that we never see again, like 1988. And it's just because I see this all the time. I'm so sick of this design. 87 is a great design. Let's see. I'm trying to think through the years. And just from Topps, I'm going to go by decade. 1950s, the 53 is probably my favorite design of the 50s. 1960s, probably 63. And I also like 65. 1970s, I'm a sucker for 73, but it's a terrible design. For me, it's the images on 73, but from a design standpoint, probably 72 from the 1970s. 1980s, I'm going to say 83. And I also said 63, so you see a trend there. 89, but I think that's because of the nostalgia. So I'm going to say 83. I love the 89 design, but that's because that was like my first year really collecting my first Cubs team set. That's just the, nostalgia speaking. In the 1990s, probably, and some of the middle 90s, I can't remember what the designs even look like. 95 was kind of like, it was like so modern, like it was almost futuristic. 1995. I really like 91. I think 91 might be my favorite design of the 90s. Now, when we get into the 2000s, I couldn't even, I know 2002 was like the orange. I'd have to actually look to see the cards next to each other and be like, oh, I like that design the best. No Bo first pitch. No. Disappointing, huh? Do you open Series 1 only because you have a business now and see the money flipping it? Yes, 100%. If I was not running a baseball card reselling business, I would not open a case of Series 1. I would open maybe a couple boxes, maybe a couple hobby boxes. if I maybe a couple blasters, but yeah, it's strictly a business decision. I do enjoy opening it though. Like, I mean, I do enjoy it. Once I get to that last box, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I have 2 more boxes left or 1 more box left. But yes, it is 100% because of my business. Travis is in the house. What's up? No home run challenge cards. I really like those. I hit 4 out of 5. Nice. I'm not a fan of those. I thought they were really cool the first year. And for me, I think it was like the new shininess wore off. That dude from Dirt, and they did the way they did it last year. Did they change? They mix it up. They change it up, and people were complaining about how they changed it up. That dude from Duryea says, "What's up? I've lost some of the drive to open packs. The products are overprinted and overpriced. Flip strategy is perfect today, but I have hundreds of boxes of other cards to turn into cash." I feel you. I see Series 1 differently. I want Series 1 to be overprinted. I think Top Series 1, there should always be boxes of Top Series 1 in Target and Walmart. People complain that, what about the kids? That crowd complains about there's no products for the kids. Top Series 1 is perfect because you get opportunities at hits. There's decent cards in there. You're paying $30 for a blaster box, which isn't much in today's world. Comparatively speaking, I guess. So when it comes to Top Series 1, I have a different other products. I agree. I saw hobby boxes of Topps Archives Sunday at the card show. $165 for Archives. It's like, fuck that. That is just not, and that's where I'm with you on, but I still love opening packs, and that's just, I love the thrill of the gamble, and it is gambling. Opening packs is absolutely gambling, and I don't get caught up in prices unless it's Topps Archives at 165, and guess what? I don't want to buy it, and like, fuck that, I'll just go buy a blaster. And it's as simple as that. I'm not going to complain about pricing of new products. It is what it is. If I don't let Bowman, I love Bowman, but I'm not going to pay Bowman prices anymore. So you just kind of pivot, and that's a great way to pivot is, well, just go buy go buy some bulk collections, or, dig through bargain boxes. And to me, it's very similar. Like digging through a dollar box, I get the same excitement that I do of opening new wax. Mr. Archer, good morning. 608, there's Cody. Got the snowblower ready. Are you going to go live with the rip today? Yes, so I will open the first box live today. According to FedEx tracking, my case of Top Series 1 will be delivered between, I'm going to refresh just to see if we've got any new action, 10:40 and 2:40. It's 7:44 at FedEx destination facility. Come on, put it on the truck. So FedEx is usually through my neighborhood around noon. So yes, as soon as it hits my doorstep, I will be running upstairs to pick it up, running downstairs, and we'll go live. So we're still like 10 minutes behind, so I'll talk about that in a second. Good morning, Uncle Rich. Peter, good morning. Travis says 91 last year with gum and cardboard. That's true. Wait, I thought 92 had gum, but it was in plastic. Or am I misremembering? I could be misremembering. Cooter says 1990 was worst year of card designs across all brands. I would collectively, yes. 90 Fleer, probably my least favorite design of all time, 90 Fleer. And that goes for football and baseball. I'm going to talk baseball, football, because hockey, I couldn't even tell you. Basketball, they kind of all blend together. Let's see. Baseball, 90 Donruss was absolutely brutal. 90 Upper Deck's pretty boring. 90 Leaf. Love 90 Leaf, but I think that's just because it was so like expensive and it was shiny. So I think that's why there's that affinity for 90 Leaf. Zach says Cooter is correct for that era. Donruss should have used the baseball's best blue. 1990 score was carrying the heavy lift that year with a wonderful set. L1C says 1991, Todd Van Poppel, Brian Taylor. There you go. Brian Taylor. Sure thing, Hall of Famers. That's right. George, what's happening? Good morning. Zach says, I collect Frank Thomas, and never once have I thought I should save my money to buy the no-name rookie. I'd rather have a Ripken F face. I don't even recall knowing that the NN existed when I was a kid. It seemed like it caught on later in life. I mean, you go back and look at old Beckett's. I don't know if I have an old Beckett lying around in this room, but you go around and I think it was still like a $4 card in the mid to late 90s. I don't think it really took off for about maybe not quite. Well, yeah, maybe a decade. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look at some of the historical pricing. But and see, Zach, your thoughts on Frank Thomas no name is similar to mine. You couldn't believe I didn't want a Walter Payton rookie card in my collection, and that's why it just doesn't do it for me. I'm not a Bears collector. Show me the money. Orlando, here's his favorites by era: 53, 62, 71, 87. All right. So 62. So you're going wood grain because 62 had that wood grain. I'm trying to find my. Oh, I took Lou Brock out of my case. 62. I kind of like 62. I hate 71. 71 is not my least favorite of the 70s, but it's definitely in the bottom half. 70 and 71, 76 and 79 are that would be my bottom of the 70s. And then what would be 77 would probably be right smack dab in the middle. I like 78. I like 75. I like 74 and 73 and 72. Did I just count up 6 that I like? I can't count. Red Light liked 84. Tracy, good morning. School trip to Disney begins tomorrow. That sounds fun. I don't know. Maybe that doesn't sound fun. A bunch of kids at Disney. 1989 Topps, a wonderful taste of nostalgia. The set I think of when I take a memory trip back. Nonetheless, Topps got too cute, not including Griffey in their set. Yeah, Griffey should have been in that 89 Topps set. Zach says, going through one of Dell's bargain boxes is more enjoyable than opening any current wax. I don't disagree with that. Gem City says, per usual, I'll wait for the $15 blaster at Walmart. Mark says, going live, ripping. Yes, probably around noon, sometime in the noon hour, noon Central Time. Zach says, 1992 did not have gum. I believe that was the scratch-off insert you could shine a flashlight through to chest. Unicorn Cupcake says, 90 Fleer to 91 score. Rock Latex, if memory serves me correctly, and I believe it does, your big pull last year in the Topps case rip was an Ichiro silver pack autograph. It was, and it was the red numbered to 5. Will I be able to run that back and get a similar, and I think that sold for $750? Probably not going to pull something that big, but I'd love to. Mark says, love 1972 and hate the rest of the 70s designs. Unicorn Cupcake says, I thought 88 Topps was a dud too. 88 Topps, terrible design, but I like it now because it's never used. 87, they use in like 3 products a year or more in every year. And it's like, God damn, there's like, Ryan Sandberg has like 100 different cards in the 87 Topps design. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but maybe I'm not. 87 is just, but 88, it's like, hey, this is kind of cool. This is kind of cool. Uncle Rich says, how about Topps putting in a Bo Million Cubs card insert of his favorite 10 Cubs cards? There you go. Reach out to Topps. And they'll be like, screw that. 89 Topps Ty Griffin. Absolutely. So I've been preparing. I am more prepared for Topps Series 1 this year than I ever have been. I reached out to Car Dealer Pro, like, hey, the numerical checklist finally was live on Monday. Any chance you can get a fast track and get this checklist updated? So it's just a few clicks and we don't have to type out, the information. They're like, we'll look into it. It's a formatting issue. So we'll see what we can do. Probably not going to happen. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to just start typing now. I'm going to start typing ahead of time so I don't have to do it. And today I can focus on ripping and sorting. And then as soon as I get everything sorted, I've already got my spreadsheet created. I don't have to use the AI. I just scan all my cards. I get the images uploaded. I copy and paste the images into my spreadsheet, upload to eBay. Boom, bada bing, bada boom. And we're easy. Last night I got my boxes ready. So I've got my boxes specifically for 2025 Top Series 1. I've got my, and what I do is, I've got some like common cards, and then I'll put a sticky note on. It's like 1 through 10. And so here's my, 1 through 10 and stick that on there. So I've got that ready. So I don't have to do any of that today. So I am boom, we're going to hit the ground running and check out 99centcards.com because I'm going to try to get as much as I can listed, obviously, to hit that first to market crowd. Buy 7 or more items at regular price. You'll save 25% off at checkout. 99centcards.com. Unicorn Cupcake says, great idea, Rich. Zach says, Bo's million card run is so 2024. The hobby has moved on, but I am clinging to that 15 seconds of fame. I'm clinging to it. Orlando says, undisputed worst set ever. 91 Fleer, but had best inserts. The 91 Fleer Pro Visions were awesome. I don't think 91 Fleer was the worst set ever. I think 90 Fleer. Basically any Fleer set is awful, but 90 and 91 were just so bad. 90 Fleer is my least favorite. 91 probably second least favorite. 88 is terrible. I don't mind 89 with the gray border, but it's certainly not on any Mount Rushmore of great designs. Kendall, what's up? What's your approach with pricing on release day for commons? This is a great question. Floor price and clear them out, hoping for multi-card orders or trying to maximize some other way. Great question. Last year, and I think I left money on the table by pricing right out of the gate at 99 cents. I went to $1.50. I'm going to $1.50 today. My floor price for most cards is $1.75, unless I'll do a batch just to try to move them at 99 cents. Then I thought, I'm going to do $1.50 because I do get a lot of multi-card orders, and I think it's well worth it. If people want to send me offers, I'll take offers at 99 cents, depending on what it is. So today, this year's floor price is going to be $1.50 for commons. Most of the rookies I'm pricing at $2, with the exception of like James Wood, Dylan Cruz. There's a couple others that are going to be a little more, like $2.50 or maybe even $3.50. Some of the stars like Acuna, I've got it like $2. Mike Trout, $2, I think is more than fair. I could get away with pricing those even a little higher. But I want to balance. I don't want to. The thing that I run into with release day pricing is I set it and forget it. And I'll price something at $5. And yes, I'll sell a couple at $5, but then all of a sudden the market turns and it's a $2 card now. And I don't update my pricing. And I probably miss out on some sales. So trying to get that balance of, I don't need to be the highest, but I don't want to be the market. I don't have to necessarily be the market price if it's a $5 card, but I don't want to be $2 and miss out on some of those $5 sales. But if I can hit it at $4 and sell all of them right away, I think that's better. And then I don't have any dead stock in 6 weeks or whatever it might be. So that's the approach. I was researching some pricing of cards that have already hit eBay, just to see ballpark on some of the inserts, because, I do want to maximize my return, but I also want to, maximize sales volume as well. and hit that balance of, not being, not necessarily being the cheapest, but not being at market rate either, kind of right in between. Porter says, my case is on the truck. Ooh, my case still hasn't been loaded on a truck. Let's refresh. How many of you are refreshing your FedEx tracking notifications? 7:44 is my latest update. Still at the destination facility. Still here in Madison. Dad Dude from Duryea says, how do you price cards on release day? Oh, wait, we just answered that. We just did that on Kendall. So that's how I do it. I mean, for a lot, like for base, it's easy. Like, I mean, it's just kind of common sense. Now, when it comes to autographs, in hits, then it's a little more difficult. But you can go in. Let's run an example here of an autograph. So I need to go back up. I'm on the checklist. I'm just going to pull a random autograph of, the 1990 baseball autographs checklist. Let's do Dylan Cruz. He's the hot rookie. So 90A DCR. So let's go. So basically, I'm just going to type in 2025 tops, 90A DCR. Let's see if anything comes up. Nothing comes up. Oh, now what do we do? Well, that was listed price. Let's go to sold price. Let's just share the screen. Wrong screen. This screen. So what we can do is, 2025 tops, 90A DCR Dylan Cruz. We don't have any sold examples, but we've got some autographs that have sold. Here's a great comp. Jacob Wilson. Oh, this is numbered to 50 though. So a Jacob Wilson is $125. He's probably in that second tier of rookies in this year's class. This is serial numbered to 50 though, at $130 shipped. So we can kind of gauge Aaron Nola, 45, Reese Hines sold for 20, another rookie. So we don't really have like a Dylan Cruz comp. I'm going to use that Jacob Wilson numbered to 50 comp of $150. I'm going to set my price really high because this is a card I'm going to monitor. It's not like it's a base rookie card that I'm going to forget about. And 6 weeks later, I'm going to be, oh shit, I still have 3 of these base rookie cards at $10 and they're $2 cards now. So I'm going to price this high, like you should on a hit like this, just so you don't miss out. You could also run the 7-day or the 24-hour auction. I'm still a little nervous on those. I might set this out $250 for a Dylan Cruz. For a Dylan Cruz 1990 base auto, and that's extremely overpriced. It might be $100 to $150 card, and it's probably going to settle in around that price range. But everybody can do it. There's no right way. There's no right way on release day. This is just an example of something that I do. Dylan Cruz is going to be one of your. Let's do like how about Jerome Walton? Now, I know Jerome Walton. I know now this is a market I know, so this isn't like a foreign market for me. Jerome Walton auto, and I think this is just going to bring up all the autos. So basically, a Jerome Walton auto is going to settle eventually in the $5 to $10 range on eBay. It's probably going to be in a $2 to $3 bin in a year or two. I'd start that at like $20 and in field offers. And so it just kind of varies. And I think each of us are different. We know different markets. Jerome Walton, I know exactly where I should price it to not get ignored, but to get some offers where it's at $20, it's probably overpriced, but I can field some offers and somebody may throw a $15 offer at release day. I just need to have this, or $10. And it's like, well, I'll give it 24 hours. If no other offers come in, I'm going to take that $10 offer, whatever the best offer is. And I think we all have different areas of expertise when it comes to pricing on certain players or teams or whatever. So those are some examples of what I use on release day pricing. And I always start high on the buy it now. Zach says bitching may reach 100K this week. Bitching. Max says, dude, release day prices are usually extrapolated from past data, at least on normal every year sets and adjusted by rookies. Zach says, I enjoy hearing all the science behind Bo pricing flagship, yet he stumbles on vintage football and just lists them for $1.75 with no comps. There you go. You are welcome. Are variations in SPs, SSPs available or just scan codes on the back? Probably not yet available. Typically those aren't available until people start ripping. I don't know if you're opening just a box or a case or what, but if you're opening a case, usually the SPs are pretty easy to identify just by the image alone. And you can look on the back and look at the codes. Or, if you're opening a case, you're going to hit another, if it's Nolan Arenado, compare, look at all your Nolan Arenado cards and, you're going to find the outlier there. James says nothing like ripping a box and getting a $5 auto. Yeah, that's the bummer. But that's what you should expect. Don't go in to opening a Top Series 1 box hoping to get an Ichiro silver box numbered to 5 auto. And, expect you're going to hit a Jerome Walton auto, or expect you're going to hit a Stuart Baroa from the Toronto Blue Jays auto, or maybe John Keating is going to pull a Steve Garvey auto. Maybe a Valente Bellozo from the Miami Marlins. So go in expecting those types of autos. Don't expect Dylan Cruz. Don't expect James Wood. Don't expect Ichiro. Expect Jerome Walton, Dwight Smith, Billy Spires. Yeah, great memories. Max says, looks like LRS forgot to change its account. I don't know anybody ripping flagship for autos. LOL. Just like Heritage love when people bitch. Yeah. We're not opening Topps flagship for hits. Like those are just kind of like, my money is made on Series 1 on flagship. My money is made on base and like base comment. People come in and buy 17 cards. That's where my money comes from. The autographs are just the cherry on top. I see the autos where some people look at the autos as, oh, I paid $100 for this box and I only got a $5 auto. Like, that's not the right way to look at it. In this product, you've got to look at it from the standpoint of, I sold $150 worth of base cards and I got a $5 auto on top of it and whatever other hits you got in that box. And they have no clue what they are doing. Happens with Ginter every year. That's my because I love Ginter. So when I see the Ginter crowd, the non-Ginter crowd complaining, I bought baseball cards. I don't want a picture of a tree. Well, don't buy Allen and Ginter. Do a little research before spending your money. Like, it just baffles my mind that people don't understand. I just got this $5 autograph. Well, that's kind of how it goes when you're ripping wax. Like, that happens. Do a little research. So I'm excited. So I will be ripping and flipping today. My case should be on my doorstep around the noon hour. I will open the first box live. So come on back later today. I'll open the first box live here on this channel. And hopefully by mid-afternoon, I'll have the first listings up live in my eBay store for 2025 Topps Series 1 over at 99centcards.com. And of course, you'll save more when you buy 7 or more cards at regular price. You'll save 25% off at checkout. I do have some auctions ending tonight. Didn't get any new listings up last night, but I do have some good stuff ending tonight at auction. So check out the auctions at 99centcards.com. A lot of like serial numbers and color. These are new. The auctions ending tonight, I believe, it's either tonight or tomorrow night, are new cards. It's not stale listings I just transferred over to auction. This is new stuff that I put up at 99-cent auction. Last couple chats before we go. Max says, literally what you are chasing in that product, the baseball stuff, is almost an afterthought. Right. And people are like, I got a celebrity auto. I want a baseball auto. It's like, sell your celebrity auto for $100 and buy your $10 baseball auto, and you've got $90 to piss away at Bitcoin. Zach says, ever thought of overpricing team sets the first week? I bet you could overcharge for that. No, because it's just not it's just not efficient. Philly Joe says, please put a notification in. Can't put a team set through a scanner. Exactly. And then you've got to sort, like it's an additional sort where it's not numerical. I've got to get these team sets out. Team sets, way more work. Yeah. No chance. And you're charging it. I'm not going to charge it. If I did a team set, I mean, I guess I could. I'm not going to charge for the more work. I list my cards at $1.50, say there's 10 cards. I'm not going to charge, I can list those $15 and sell most of those cards, $15. I'm not going to charge to make it worth my while. I have to charge like $20 to $25 for a team set. And then I'm way overpriced. The next person's charging $8. And I'm putting more work in it for less money. So not going to do it. So there you go. All right. 99centcards.com. Check it out. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Tune in later today. We'll open that first box of 2025 Topps Series 1 live on this channel. Have a wonderful Wednesday. I've got to go take the trash out. See you later.